The artificial intelligence behind self-driving cars, medical image analysis and other computer vision applications relies on what's called deep neural networks. Loosely modeled on the brain, these consist of layers of interconnected neurons, mathematical functions that send and receive information, that fire in response to features of the input data. The first layer processes a raw data input, such as pixels in an image, and passes that information to the next layer above, triggering some of those neurons, which then pass a signal to even higher layers until eventually it arrives at a determination of what is in the input image. But here's the problem, says Duke computer science professor Cynthia Rudin. We can input, say, a medical image, and observe what comes out the other end. This is a picture of a malignant lesion, but it's hard to know what happened in between. It's what's known as the black box problem. What happens in the mind of the machine, the network's hidden layers, is often inscrutable, even to the people who built it. The problem with deep learning models is they're so complex that we don't actually know what they're learning, said Shi Chen, a Ph.D. student in Rudin's lab at Duke. They can often leverage information we don't want them to. Their reasoning processes can be completely wrong. Rudin, Chen and Duke undergraduate Yi Jibei have come up with a way to address this issue. By modifying the reasoning process behind the predictions, it is possible that researchers can better troubleshoot the networks or understand whether they are trustworthy. Most approaches attempt to uncover what led a computer vision system to the right answer after the fact, by pointing to the key features or pixels that identified an image. The growth in this chest X-ray was classified as malignant because, to the model, these areas are critical in the classifier. The Duke team tried a different tack. Instead of attempting to account for a network's decision-making on a post hoc basis, their method trains the network to show its work by expressing its understanding about concepts along the way. Their method works by revealing how much the network calls to mind different concepts to help decipher what it sees. It disentangles how different concepts are represented within the layers of the network, Rudin said. Given an image of a library, for example, the approach makes it possible to determine whether and how much the different layers of the neural network rely on their mental representation of books to identify the scene. The researchers found that, with a small adjustment to a neural network, it is possible to identify objects and scenes in images just as accurately as the original network, and yet gain substantial interpretability in the network's reasoning process. The technique is very simple to apply, Rudin said. The method controls the way information flows through the network. It involves replacing one standard part of a neural network with a new part. The new part constrains only a single neuron in the network to fire in response to a particular concept that humans understand. The concepts could be categories of everyday objects, such as book or bike. But they could also be general characteristics, such as metal, wood, cold or warm. By having only one neuron control the information about one concept at a time, it is much easier to understand how. Then they turned it on images it hadn't seen before. They also looked to see which concepts the network layers drew on the most as they processed the data. Chen pulls up a plot showing what happened when they fed a picture of an orange sunset into the network. Their trained neural network says that warm colors in the sunset image, like orange, tend to be associated with the concept bed in earlier layers of the network. In short, the network activates the bed neuron highly in early layers. Please support our channel to grow by pressing subscribe button as well as the bell icon for daily science updates. Thank you.